I lower the flashlight slightly, standing still as the full weight of the abandoned tumbler fills the cabin. I crouch beside the front axle and shine the light down, checking clearance points where a winch cable can safely attach. I loop a thick strap around a reinforced front mount, tightening it with steady pulls until it locks into place. I return to the tumbler and double-check the straps, tugging each one firmly while dust falls from the armor.
I step back and pause, hands resting at my sides as the tumbler sits fully secured, ready to be... I open the truck door and step down, my hands coming into view as I face the garage and the next phase of the ration.
I walk to the garage door controls and press the switch, my hands steady as the heavy metal door begins to rise. I begin a slow walk around the tumbler, my eyes level with the armor as my hands point out damage, missing panels, and misaligned sections.
I step back and lower my hands, the full scope of the restoration clear now as the tumbler sits silent under the garage.
I grab a heavy brush from the wall rack and step toward the tumbler, my hands hesitating for a moment. I walk to the side panels and repeat the process, revealing patches of original matte black beneath the grime. I pause to wipe my gloves clean, then inspect the exposed armor, noting scratches and worn edges now clearly visible.
I spread soap across the armor with a wide sponge, working methodically across each angular surface.
I reach inside and pull out loose debris from the floor, old leaves and grit spilling through my fingers onto the concrete. I move the vacuum up onto the seat base, revealing torn padding and worn mounting points beneath the grime. I pause to wipe the inside panels with a damp cloth, dragging dark streaks of residue away from the metal surfaces. I spray a light cleaner onto the inner panels and wipe again, the metal slowly regaining a dull, uniform finish.
I apply lubricant carefully to the joints and pivots, working it in with slow, precise motions.
I pull my hands back and look into the cockpit again, the interior cleaner, quieter, and one step closer to coming back to life.
I guide the seat into position, lowering it carefully onto the mounting rails and aligning the bolt holes by feel.
I thread bolts in by hand and then tighten them with a wrench, each turn firm and deliberate until the seat locks solidly in place.
I reconnect control cables and secure them with locking clips, pressing each one until it snaps firmly into place.
I test the steering motion by hand, rotating the controls smoothly now, free of resistance.
I install new control grips and secure them tightly, aligning each detail to match the original configuration.
I replace it with a new reinforced line, pushing it firmly onto the fitting until it seats securely.
I move deeper into the bay, tightening loose fittings with a torque wrench, each click sharp and precise. I pause and manually rotate a drivetrain component, feeling smooth resistance return where stiffness once dominated. I wheel portable lights closer and wipe down the armor with a clean cloth, removing the last traces of moisture before any finish work begins. I tape off exposed joints, vents, and mechanical openings with careful precision, pressing each strip firmly along sharp edges. I lift the spray gun and begin applying the first coat, smooth black paint misting evenly across the angular armor.
I move steadily along the surface, overlapping passes to ensure uniform coverage without buildup or runs.
I pause and inspect the finish under angled light, the matte black surface absorbing reflections cleanly. I remove the masking tape carefully, pulling it away in slow, clean lines to reveal crisp edges.
I apply polish with a soft pad, working it into the surface in slow circular motions.
I buff the armor clean, revealing a deep, uniform matte finish across every panel. I kneel beside the front tire and press my thumb into the hardened rubber, watching cracks spread as it barely flexes under pressure.
I push the tire onto the hub and thread the lugs by hand, ensuring each one seats cleanly.
I stand and repeat the process on the remaining wheels, the garage filling with the steady rhythm of restoration.
I move around the tumbler.
I test steering and pedals slowly, feeling smooth, responsive motion transmitted through the controls.
I reach to the ignition sequence and arm it, pausing for a breath before committing. I pause briefly at the doorway, checking left and right as the engine reverberates against the concrete walls. I glance down at the gauges, all reading steady, then return my focus to the road ahead.
I keep both hands steady on the controls as I roll deeper into Gotham, streetlights streaking across the cockpit while I slow slightly as figures appear ahead near a flickering storefront, my hands tightening as their movements turn uneasy.
Move! Get back! It's the Batmobile!
I glance ahead as more figures retreat into alleyways, fear spreading faster than the tumbler itself. Abandoned vehicles and scattered debris, the armored nose pushing through turbulence without hesitation. I bring the speed down gradually, letting the machine idle beneath an elevated rail line.
I hold still for a moment, the city breathing around the tumbler as if acknowledging its return. I accelerate into the distance, the tumbler's roar fading into Gotham as the legend fully takes its place again.
I reach up and disengage the ignition sequence, the engine powering down in a controlled, deliberate shutdown.